It's New Thought Tuesdays. This is Dean Regan. I'm in today for myself and for Rich Smith. Welcome to New Thought Tuesdays. So good to have you here. I'm going to turn on the recording, the Zoom recording. Now, the Zoom recording is here for our folks. Recording is in progress, are here for our inner circle, which is our tight-knit inner membership program for New Thought Tuesdays. What are we talking about today? That's what we want to get to. What is the idea that we're embracing today? And the idea, we're going to work our way into it. The title for today is, What If Nothing is Broken? Seeing beyond the illusion of problems. So I don't know if any of you have been experiencing a sense of having life unfold in a way that you might not want it to. It could have to do with your community, your country. It could have to do with your holiday celebrations, something that is unfolding in a way that just seems like, this isn't so the way it should be. This is broken. This is broken. Well, the main thought for today is to focus on the idea of, wait for it, divine order. That there is an order taking place in all of our experiences right now. And the shift to be made is to shift into the awareness of this divine order. Speaking of which, Rich Smith says hello to everybody. He is off. He had a very intense and packed day today with clients. So he is focusing on his clients, and he sends everybody his very best and his love. But we found out about this finally last night. And like, oh my God, how am I going to do this by myself? And how am I going to get this to work technically? Well, here we are. We're live streaming. We've got our inner circle here. And so what Rich and I needed to do is come from a new perspective that New Thought Tuesdays was going to unfold in a different way. And instantly, both of us started talking about what the value of this new format that we would be doing today was, as opposed to that gulp feeling of, this isn't the way it's supposed to be. I like it this way or that way, or if it was really working, it would work this way. Well, that idea of working and wanting to fix something is very much of the human awareness. And that's fabulous. The human awareness is a fabulous awareness. It is, however, expressing as and encompassed by divinity, that power, whatever it is, and whatever you call it, whether you call it God or Muhammad or energy or universal spirit or just spirit, there's something going on here. There's an energy that has created all of this magnificence. Speaking of magnificence, we celebrate in our family, we celebrate Christmas. And so our Christmas tree has just started to come up. There's some magnificence for you. That shift of perspective when you're feeling that gulp, when you're feeling that fear, that doubt, that worry, this is where our spiritual practice comes in. We'll be talking about this more in the inner circle. If you'd like to be part of the inner circle, go to newthoughttuesdays.com and click on the link to get reminders about New Thought Tuesdays. And if you'd like to be part of the inner circle, you can set up an appointment with Rich Smith, and you guys can talk about the fit that it will make in your spiritual practice. So, but here we are, another New Thought Tuesdays here going into the holidays of 2024. And we're talking about divine order. So Rich's brand is The Infinite Filmmaker. You can go to theinfinitefilmmaker.com to learn more about Rich. And for me, it is Living in Concert with Life. Go to deanregan.com to find out more about that. And we bring both of our energies into this New Thought Ancient Wisdom platform. And here's a story that most of the Living in Concert with Life folks know, because I tell it anytime I'm talking about divine order. A bunch of years ago, I was in New York City, and New York is known for being a very loud and boisterous and lots of activity and lots of people and lots of stuff going on, lots of buildings, people living on top of one another, and dynamic artistry and Central Park, et cetera, et cetera. It's known for that. And what I experienced, it was actually a Sunday. And so right now I'm seeing on my screen some things having to do with technical things that might mean we're not live streaming. And still we're moving forward with a sense of joy. So back to the story. I was in New York. It was a Sunday morning, and I was walking at 56th Street. I think it was at 7th or whatever. And I happened to turn left. And it was very windy out. And it was a Sunday morning, as I said. So the Sunday Times was filled with lots of paper. And apparently some Sunday Times got away from them in the wind. And it was just filling up the whole street. It was all over the place. There was paper everywhere on this street. And then garbage that was also going in the wind. And I looked and thought, oh, what a mess. And then all of a sudden, I had a slight shift of perspective. And again, all of a sudden, I perceived a dance of this paper, a dance of the wind, which I couldn't see, that which was blowing the paper around, that paper that I could see, that energy behind the paper, bringing up what appeared to be chaos. But in my perspective, for me, the quality of dance is really a sense of divine expression, expressed as through the human body, in this case, expressed through these papers. And the key point was not the papers or the garbage or the wind, but how it all came together, and there was a shift in my perspective. Now, this is decades ago, and it was very supportive of my sense of divine order to recognize that our perspective of how the universe is unfolding is really up to that universal energy and how we contribute to it and how we experience it and how we perceive it. And in that perception, I went from a sense of chaos, which might have had a sense of a little bit of anxiety, maybe some judgment stuff. Somebody should have kept that paper in their hands, or something that would have left for a very clean street, to a perspective of a ballet taking place for me in New York City on this day. Nothing was broken. There was a ballet unfolding before me. And not only for that moment, because I've taken that awareness and incorporated it into my sense of the divine. That one moment, and it was not very long, infused my awareness and my perspective with a sense of a metaphor for that divine consciousness that is ever unfolding. So in that particular way, it went to the idea of divine order. So let's go back to something's broken. It needs to be fixed. I need to figure this out. I want to make sure that this is all fabulous stuff. And when we use this stuff, be aware when we're in the figuring out mode, that's our human quality. As we often say here, treat spiritual practice and move your feet. The action, the ideas that you put into place that have come to you, that you choose to move into your human experience. Almost imperceptibly connected. And I love that about this stuff, that sense of moving forward with the sense of love and light and a sense of perspective. Now, if you guys are into neuroscience, here's another way to take a look at it. Those people with the living in concert with life, my clients know often, is I talk about that switch between the idea of low-level fear and excitement. Your neural pathways use the same pathway for that idea of low-level fear and excitement. So it's up to us how we perceive it. And in that particular way, it's very easy. You've got maybe some stage fright that's low level, to see it as, to all of a sudden recognize that, actually, this is excitement. And it's a tiny shift in your awareness that opens up all kinds of possibilities. And when we take that human concept and shift it in our awareness with a capital A, that to me is when the gateway to experiencing our own faith takes off dramatically and brilliantly. And so that's the idea of divine order. When you're perceiving that something is broken, be aware that's your human quality that is engaging in a human way, which is absolutely magnificent. You have wonderful talents that you bring to the human plane. It's the connection to recognize that that human experience is being uplifted by, has a foundation of divinity. The divinity is expressing in your experience. It's expressing in your judgment of not order and in your awareness of order, your sense of order. So that's the whole thing of it's a shift. It's a shift in your perspective to embrace your faith. And that's where New Thought Tuesdays comes in. You have so many talents that you bring to this world, so many skills and so many positive intentions. And your spiritual practice, which we'll talk more about in the inner circle today, is a way that you connect up your awareness of the human plane as an expression of divinity. So let's go back to any perceptions you might have. Just go to a perception you have that really gives you a big gulp, like I'm really concerned about this in my life, whatever it is, in your home, in your community, in your neighborhood, in the country, in your hemisphere, whatever your concern is. And how does divine order express itself in that particular concern? And we'll get more specific in the inner circle. Don't want to do mental malpractice out here and bring up, quote, problems. But it is your awareness of how your faith, your belief in a world and a universe that is ever unfolding in creativity, enters into your human life, how you walk on the planet, how the relationships that you have. And it's all based on this idea of using your spiritual practice, your tools, prayer, meditation, reading and study, tithing, service, journaling, thanksgiving, forgiveness, affirmations, visualization, all of these spiritual practices that we each design and we each build, for lack of a better word, into our awareness, our human DNA, our spiritual DNA, the stuff that makes us up, constantly bringing our awareness, if it's not already there, to that sense of perfection ever unfolding. Now, what if you're perceiving, yes, I recognize there's divine order, but this is how this is unfolding is not how I particularly want to experience it in the world. Well, this is where, again, your spiritual practice can come in, because get involved, engage who you are, engage your creativity, engage your love, engage your life into those human actions that you're doing with a sense of joy and passion, and move into the direction of that joy and that love and that passion. If you find that you are constantly, what we like to call here on New Thought Tuesdays, pushing against, like, this is frustrating and they don't understand, back off. Take a breath. Go back to your spiritual practice and see where it leads you. That spiritual practice is a time for new ahas, new listenings, new perspectives, and ever increasing awareness of infinite possibility. Well, that's enough talking from one person. Again, I'm Dean Regan, religious science practitioner, sending you love and bringing you love from myself and from Rich Smith, who is not with us today. Welcome to New Thought Tuesdays. We're going to go into the inner circle right now. If you'd like to be part of our membership inner circle, please go to www.newthoughttuesdays.com and click on the link that says I'd like to be reminded, and show up a little bit. Keep showing up. And then perhaps you'll find that you want to join the inner circle. You can speak with Rich about that, and we'll be very happy, constantly increasing, constantly unfolding the inner circle, which has no beginning and no end. Anyway, so that's us. Sending you love and light. I am now going to go back into the technical world to see if I can actually if I can actually get this to stop. So I'm going to turn off our recordings right now and go to Zoom. I know we're still live streaming. We are still live streaming. All is well. We're still live streaming. I'm now stopping, sending you our best. Happy holidays.